Hello, and welcome everyone. We are live with Wanderlust and Wildemount. It took me a moment to find the unmute button, because my microphone was right in the way. But, yes, hello, we are back. We had a little bit of a break, but we're back, and we're very happy to be here. So, we're gonna go around, we're gonna say who we are, who we're playing, before we get right into it. I'll start with myself, because I'm already speaking. I will be playing Wendell Eustace Abernathy, Lucius Throckwaddle Hossenpfeffer IV of the Havisham Hossenpfeffers, a nobleman, warlock, philanthropist, entrepreneur, aspiring author. I could go on, but I will spare you the details this time, and instead I'd go on up to meet someone else, like Harlan Fliploak, D20 coup de grace. How are you?
That is me, yes. You will be playing Harlan Fliploak tonight. He's a hobgoblin diviner wizard, and he specializes in time manipulation. And currently, we might be needing some.
I think it'll be fine. Everything's going to be great. Maybe. We'll see. Speaking of great, we've got Shiny Pilot. How are you tonight?
Oh, hey, yes. Great. I'm
I'm
great.
biased, but I think he's great.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing great. I'm Shiny Pilot 26. I'm gonna be playing Igor. Now I'm all tripped up. I'm playing Igor. He's a hunchback half-orc who serves Wendell and serves himself anything and everything that he can all the time. So let's do this.
All right. Indeed. Let's do this by introducing our next person, who I also think is pretty great. Nugasaurus. How are you?
I'm great. It's been a while, but I'm very excited to get back into this. I'm Nugasaurus. I'm playing Hal, the shifter fighter / paladin, who is in a very bad mood and just, wants to have a nice night with her girlfriend. So, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll all be fine. Someone who would like a nice quiet night with their girlfriend, if they had one maybe, would be Lamont Quinlan. Producer Travis, how are you?
But it won't be fine. None of it's going to be fine.
Well, maybe not for Lamont.
How's it going?
I think this is just a disclaimer that we need to put on Lamont.
Immediately sucked the oxygen out of the room. Hi, how's it going? Producer Trev here. I'm playing Lamont Quinlan, the Kalishtar former artificer, nay rogue, who is just about as much of a hard-boiled 90s grimdark anti-hero that you can get, as much as you can handle, buddy. You guys remember when we used to play D&D together? It was amazing. Let's do it.
We are going to play D&D together, and it will be amazing. Because we don't have an anti-hero, we have a dungeon master to guide us through this campaign, and that would be Deception Check. How are you?
I am doing great. I was just noticing that the title for tonight's episode, A Welcome Return to Normalcy, I named this weeks ago, and it just fits so perfect for tonight because we're actually back to normal. We're playing again. I'm really excited and happy to be here. I'm Deception Check. I am the ringmaster of this 3-ring circuit of crazy that we call Mondays in Alexandria, Wanderlust, and Wildemount. So let's just jump in for tonight. I'll give a recap of last week because all of us need it, and we'll jump in and see what happens. So last time on Mondays in Alexandria, Wanderlust, and Wildemount, the group dispatched the nobleman Farrell, who was the lackey of Lord Vialis, the once Lord of Yellowcrest Manor, and his entire retinue of mercenaries, including a 4-horse team of innocent draft horses in front of the entire town. The display unsettled the mayor and the residents of Greenfast, causing the goodwill earned in returning lost family members and victims of the cult's nefarious deeds to evaporate as fast as the eerie green glow of Wendell's new powerful magic once released. Frustrated, but not deterred, group returns to the Port Damali manor of Lady Nesrin Wasserin, only to learn that the evil forces have been busy within the town while they were away, and other unsettling reports from within the city. Dismayed and tired from battle, our fearless adventurers separate to follow different leads. Howell retreats to the sanctity of her private room with Lady Wasserin. Lamont wanders out into the town alone, looking for a way to clear the name of that which stalks the night, and Harlan, Wendell, and Igor returned to Amon to read the tome that the council sent group after, only to find that someone was waiting for them to arrive. And that's where we'll start tonight, in the private dining area of the Gray Skull Shadow Inn in the city of Amon, Tal'Dorei, where group has set their main headquarters. It is a comfortable dining area, paneled wood walls, the taxidermied head of a red wormling that was defeated in the sewers of Iman some years ago now, and paintings commissioned by Howell for each of the members affixed to the walls surrounding the table. But at the head, where Wendell usually sits, is Seeker Assume Imring, greeting these three adventurers on their return, like he knew exactly when they would be there.
The spy master, I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
Surprised,
Welcome
maybe,
home.
not shocked.
Welcome home,
Seeker
please.
Assume. Wasn't expecting a visit, but it's wonderful to see you.
No, I was expecting you to be here sooner or later.
Yeah,
Service here is wonderful. I don't mind stopping by.
wonderful to hear. I'll make sure to pass on the good word to the staff. They'll love to hear it. Oh,
What
I'm
is-
terribly sorry. Harlan Flipcloak, Seeker Assume Emring from the Council of Tal'Dorei. Seeker Assume, Harlan Flipcloak.
Nice to meet you, Seeker.
It's a pleasure to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you, Mr. Flipcloak.
That's wonderful to hear.
Wendell just put, like, pats Harlan's shoulder, like, it's not the newspaper. Like, you know, that kind of, like, hey, buddy, it's all right. At least it's not the newspaper.
And this is your servant?
Ah,
Igor?
yes, Igor, my head butler.
Oh, yes, sorry. I was distracted. By...
Congratulations on your graduation.
Oh, thank you. You from Butler School? You...
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Have you graduated from somewhere else I haven't heard of yet?
Igor pauses and kind of thinks. No.
Good. Then
Should I have?
my information is correct then. Wonderful. Would you like to have a seat? It is your dining area, everyone.
Yes, indeed.
If we have it, what do we do with it?
You sit in it, Igor.
That
Oh,
is
shit.
really up to you.
Okay. Oh shit.
Harlan will go attentively sit.
Wendell will sit as well. Because food should be coming in because that was already, because he'd messaged Reagan ahead of time, so food will be here soon. That'll make
So-
Igor happy.
Exciting times in Port Damali?
Oh yes, it's quite an interesting place. It's quite a good bit different from Iman, but, you know, nice, pleasant change of scenery for vacation.
Mm.
Ooh,
Vacation.
Well, mostly vacation. You know, I like to do a little
Right.
business everywhere I go.
Well, good. Well, I like doing business when I come to meet people. Most know what sort of business I'm in, so you won't be surprised when I ask a few questions, make a few comments. No?
Well, be surprised if we don't wish to give you a few answers.
Wonderful. I see your divination magic has already told you the answers to my questions. He stares at Harlan.
Harlan just.
Wendell just kind of glances at the door like, when's the food getting here?
Well, why don't we start with you, Mr. Flipcloak? I just thought I'd let you know that there has been reports of increased goblinoid activity in and around Amon.
How surprising.
Yes, I find it very surprising. The Iron Authority has spent quite a long time in the southern part of our continent just doing their own thing. But since you left, they've been quite active.
I would have no idea why.
Really? There was reports. Now, understand, we up here in the north
Mhm.
don't communicate as effectively with our friends from the South. And as it's very difficult to invest in associates inside the authority, information can be slow in returning. But with the influx of visitors to our city and persuasive conversation techniques, found out that the heir apparent to the leadership of the Iron Authority was assassinated. Was that before or after you left, Mr. Flipcloak?
Wendell really wishes the food was here.
At that point, Reagan knocks and steps in. It's like, are you ready for food?
Yes, Reagan, thank you. That would be wonderful.
Am I interrupting? I can
no,
leave.
food would be great.
Could I have extra, please?
Igor, would you mind helping me? Would you?
Oh,
Yes,
say
Igor,
no
go
more.
help Reagan.
Yes,
Anything
Master.
that he needs.
Excellent.
He will get up and help.
And,
I
With
give
extra
Reagan the look
servings.
like any help you need. You feel free to use them as long as you want.
and it's like the plates were already outside. They're
They just
bringing
had to
it
be
in.
brought
So
in,
it's
yeah.
just platters.
Any platters that come in if we go to the serving portion?
Oh no,
Igor's
they were
putting extra-
outside.
They're
Okay,
on like,
well,
on like the tray by the door, yeah.
Yeah, they were on a tray
Igor-
by the door and on the bar, and so they're just bringing
Just
it
so
in.
you know, when he gets some of this food, he's going to put extra servings on his plate.
Oh no,
Okay.
your plate actually already has extra servings on it.
Perfect.
Reagan knows you, boy. He's got you. It's all good.
Sweet. My man, Reagan.
Exactly. And so as you all eat, let's
I'm sure
check
the
in.
questions can continue while we eat, but Wendell wants something to do with
No,
his
we're
hands.
gonna get back to that. Let's
Yeah.
check in with Lamont Quinlan.
Please.
You've just left. You've just been unceremoniously kicked out of the Wasserin Manor, and had a quick chat with one of the stable hands. And you are wandering out into the streets of Port de Mali late at night, in your alternative costume of the Hawaiian shirt and khaki pants and flip flops, I believe.
So look, I like to call the asshole.
Yes.
Patterned shirt, shorts above the knee, sandals with socks,
Yes.
wallet sticking out of back pocket. Easy mark.
Okay. Normally in Port de Mali this time of night, as it is a exciting town, there are people moving around. The night markets to the south, in different districts, are active. Especially the beaded alley night markets go until morning, and so most movement coming from Larboard Light and the Gilded Esplanade are moving in that direction. What do you wish to do?
I will join the throng.
Okay.
Check
It's
it
not
out.
exactly a throng, but it's like groups of pods of people moving along, occasional carriages going in that direction.
I love it. He's lost in thought, but is playing the part and enjoying. I'll check out the market.
Okay. All right. So you make your way. It takes some time, but you arrive at the night market, one of the night markets. This is the first one you come to is actually the one just outside the Crescent Acorn in that steam forged alley that is basically the guard, like the park that the open air area is turned into the night market, and the Crescent Acorn is on the southern side of it. You've not had an opportunity to visit this before.
It's like a bar.
Oh no, the night market is
Oh no, it's a big
basically-
open air market, right?
it's an open air market where it's basically food, alcohol, and just random fun and sundries. It's
But
just
the
a
Acorn is like a bar.
No, the Crescent Acorn is your base of operations. It's where
Oh,
the
it's the
portal
end.
door.
Right.
That's where the Amberwine family runs it for you. They don't really participate in the night market, but the other businesses and local merchants do. And so there's just music going on, open air music. There's food being cooked out. There's people just hawking, things,
I love it.
items.
Are there hot nuts?
Yes. Hot salty nuts are available.
I think I want hot nuts, but I also want something sweet.
Okay.
In my mouth, and so I think I'll look for like the equivalent of a funnel cake.
There are
Fried.
funnel cake items. There are some, hot oil, open fire, hot oil pots where they put in, drips of breading and make something sort of like a funnel cake.
I love it. I will approach the stand.
Okay. You can get whatever you want, however much you want.
Oh, I love these. Look at these. You just drop them right in.
Yes. Yes, that's what you do. It's very simple.
And let me ask you, how long have you been doing this, Red Hal? How long have you been making these?
You look at the proprietor of this particular stand, this fried bread stand, and he's an older man, visible, thick, dark wrinkles, gray hair, long stringy beard. He's like, most of my life.
Most of your life. You've been frying this bread for most of your life, right out here in front of everybody.
That would be a silver.
Wow.
Please.
What?
Silver, please.
Silver. Of course, a silver, my good man. Wow, your whole life. Get a load of this, everybody. This guy has been frying this bread almost his whole life. What dedication and what a legacy. I would love to try this. Here we go.
Thank you. Come again.
Best fried bread I've ever had. Let me tell you.
Yes. Thank you.
This
Can you move along? I have other customers. Thank you.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. I'm in everybody's way. Just pardon me. I'm just going to step right over here. I'm just going to step right here.
Thank you. Come again.
Just make a fool out of myself with this thing right here. I'm just going to, if you hear anything strange, that's me enjoying a fun time snack. You just have to excuse me. It's a shame about all those murdered orphans I've been hearing about out here. If anybody, I just am new into town, and it's a shame about the level of crime that's really here on the streets.
Most people around you just they were looking at you because kind of creating a scene. You say that in the most obvious undercover cop kind of way. And everyone just turns and just doing their own thing now. And you don't exist in their minds anymore.
A little fruit, like a little fruit on the top of this. Take this to a whole other level, but I'm not, but it is delicious. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing is orphans. Terrible. Really, somebody should put a stop to it.
And at that, we're going to have you wander around the night market a bit more. Let's check in with Howell. Howell. Oh, I always do this right when you have your mouthful. Okay.
You and Sarah both. Anytime I put something in my mouth, it's like, hey, let's talk to Nugget.
I swear I wasn't watching for that sign. It just happens that way. So you and Nezrin are upstairs in your private apartments. I imagine it's a larger room. You have a parlor up front with couches to sit at and talk and read. And then there is the bedroom in the back. Nezrin is a little concerned. And she kind of looks over at you and she says, it looks like the news for your group hasn't been good. Were you at least successful?
Is it ever?
Well, we've done good shit. We've done good work here. You and I.
Yeah, me and you quietly by ourselves. Group as a whole, it's a fucking mess.
But they're your friends, aren't they?
Are they?
I was asking you. I like them. They're a madcap group of vagabonds, but I mean, my parents were thieves and murderers. So what do I have to say?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm struggling real hard with my justifications for staying with them.
Why would you say that? Have you done your pros and cons statements? Have you sat down and looked at it really?
That shit doesn't work for me.
That's because your writing is substantive. If I
No,
can
it's
do it
because
for you.
gut instinct. And my gut instinct says that if I stay with these fucking people, me or the people I actually love are gonna get fucked over.
By them or by the things that you battle regularly?
Possibly both. In Lamont's case, definitely both.
So you have a significant problem with Lamont now, more so than
Now,
normal.
it's been a significant problem.
Did something happen while you were away?
He went after a kid.
Like attacked them or?
Yeah, like dangled them over a fucking rooftop.
Ooh, that seems excessive.
Yeah.
Was the
Yeah.
child okay?
He's fine now.
Oh, but there were a number of orphans around that same area that were killed while you were gone.
Yep. And V's the only one who made it out because he was the only one I could find.
Do you think that has anything to do with Lamont?
Absolutely. 100%. I don't doubt it for a second.
You don't think he did it, did you?
I wouldn't put it past him, but I don't think it was him this time.
Oh, all right. Well, that is definitely concerning.
Travis, I'm sorry.
What about the others? Harlan, we've just made quite a deal with him. My fortune is intertwined with him, and you and I can get very rich just off of the scraps from his creations.
Yeah. But he's also making things that honestly probably shouldn't be made.
Well, that airship is a godsend.
The airship, sure. The airship's great. The time fucking travel?
Time travel? That's
Yeah.
I'm
He
sure
keeps saying
he's
it's
just
a time ship.
exaggerating.
Then how did Harlan and Lamont get here a whole fucking day before we did? When we left before they did.
It's a faster mode of transportation.
It's really not, though.
Really?
As far as I'm aware.
Oh.
It's about the
The
same.
projections seem to make it seem like it's faster than the normal mode, but And Wendell?
Wendell's okay.
Really?
Okay. Like,
he has quite a sharp business mind.
Sure, yeah. He's smart, but a brain like that can get you in a lot of fucking trouble.
I'm smart as well.
You are. And you're using your brain like properly, smartly.
But it can get me in a lot of fucking trouble, as you just said.
Yeah.
My brain tells me I like you a lot. Is that getting me in trouble? Well, it is getting me in trouble, but
it absolutely is getting you in trouble. Because I'm messed up with some fucking dumbasses. I don't know, Nez. Can we not talk about this? Can we just have a good night?
Yes, if that's what you wish.
That would be great.
All right. And from there, we'll leave the happy couple.
Yes.
Back to Iman, where food has been served and everyone is eating. But as the dinner goes on, Seeker assume looks over at Harlan. So no comments. Nothing to say? It was after your time when you left?
There was a bit of dust up, and I'm not a fan of politics, so I left.
Well, you've been an exemplary citizen since that time, and we thank you for the help you've given the city of Iman on the Council of Tal'Dorei in the past. So I just wanted to know what you knew, if there was anything.
If I knew anything that could help you, I would tell you.
Wonderful. we might have another conversation in the future. I'm so interested in the hierarchy of the Iron Authority. There's so few books on the subject.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I suppose I could help you with that, provide you with a bit of insight.
Wonderful. That is spectacular. Thank you.
He says, I'll prepare a dossier on it.
Oh, I look forward to reading your work. You are quite the creator of things. I heard that your airship is doing well over in Port Damali. You're really upsetting a few consortiums now with the deals you're making.
Yes, I've become quite popular over there. I'm not a fan of the celebrity.
Most geniuses aren't. And I don't use that term lightly.
Well, thank you.
And you see he's barely touched his food.
Mm-hmm.
He looks over.
Eating it all.
It's just
He looks
Wendell
over
and
at Igor.
He's got like a little bit of sweat dripping from
From under
Wendell's
the toupee.
like, I'm looking at my. I can't answer questions on the Iron Authority.
He looks over at Igor.
Record scratch moment with the cart.
And Mr. Igor,
Yes.
I just thought I'd mention that there have been inquiries from the ambassadors of Singon about you. Do you
I
know
think
why?
Wendell almost chokes on his food, like, not just like, the fuck are people in Singor want with Igor?
Of course, all the people in Singon know Igor, obviously. No.
How do they know of you?
The tales of your butlery have expanded beyond the realms of Tal'Dorei?
Yes, it's me butlery tales, it's true. I'm very popular. In school, I was the bestest butler. I only crashed the carriage 13 times.
Exemplary. Wonderful. Well,
as he clinks the cart into the table. Oh, sorry.
we're not in the habit of giving out information of our citizens to ambassadors, but I thought I'd mention that, and in case you'd like to meet them yourself, I can arrange that.
Sure. Excuse me, but I
Yes.
don't really know anybody from that area.
Well, they know you.
Conflicted in how I'm supposed to feel.
That's common when dealing with the elves.
Okay.
All right. Just thought I'd mention that. Also, I wanted to ask if you had any comments on the Myriad's activity in Port Damali. They've continued to try and find a foothold here in Tal'Dorei, and I was wondering if you could give us any insight. They're notoriously difficult to find information. Their associates would rather die than speak, even under advanced conversation techniques.
Can I pull out the newspaper from today's newspaper?
Yeah.
With the orphan murder article. They're gonna find out about that article, Harlan, anyways. It's in the newspaper.
I know, but you're just sharing it. Okay, this is how it spreads. Okay. No,
more beads of sweat fall down Harlan's forehead.
Yeah, I think he'll have it folded to the article about the orphans and which strikes in the dock. Well, this is from today's newspaper. They like framing anything and everything on. You can see the mentions of the clasp here, which obviously is. I'm very certain there's a clasp in.
Yes, they're quite regional. They don't tend to travel out, and plus the Myriad's very territorial, from what we understand.
Yes,
they don't allow.
But
excursions.
look how often they reference the clasp here. It's like they try to just blame everything on them.
Rumor has it that the Myriad is involved in all levels of society in the Menagerie Coast.
That would not surprise
especially the
me.
Clovis Concord. So
From what I've
Do you-
met of some people, that there was an event, a ball. That would not surprise me.
Well, if you could keep an ear to the ground on that sort of
Yes.
thing.
Yes, they
Any
just
sort of
murdered a bunch of
information.
orphans, according to this article here.
Do you know why they would do that? Seems counterproductive to just kill children.
Well, I think some orphans were tailing some people, and one of them was seen and questioned, and so they just murdered the whole bunch.
And he looks at you with a piercing eye, raises
Wendell's
an
like,
eyebrow.
I had nothing to do with the matter. This is just
Some
what I've
people.
heard.
No witnesses.
No witnesses. I mean, we've been tailed, but that's not so shocking, considering, you know, what you've heard about
Boss.
Harlan going on in the business deals we've been making.
Yes. Oh, that brings me to another question. Looking at this newspaper.
You have an awful lot of questions.
That's my job.
Oh, we'll carry on.
Thank you. I don't interrupt you when you're butlering. So, how's Mr. Quinlan? It seems like he's being framed for things.
Yes, he's being framed for orphan murder because he's been doing, as he calls it, a bit of vigilante work, I believe.
Yes, that was a popular. He was very popular. It was his favorite thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's not very popular with the myriad, I don't believe.
Oh,
They do so enjoy their crime.
that most criminals do, but nothing out of the ordinary with Mr. Quinlan.
Define out of the ordinary with Mr. Quinlan.
He's a bit sick, but I assure you he's no danger,
Sick,
especially to orphans.
health-wise. So he continues on with that line of questioning, and that's when we'll go back to Lamont in the night market. Now, you're standing in the night market. People are moving around. Music is echoing off of buildings. Most people are, after your outburst of dead orphans, most people are shying away from you. Where you were a curiosity before, now you are persona non grata. Now no one wants to go near you. What do?
Most people are like, how about that sports ball team? It's like, how about them dead orphans, though?
Yeah, and he's got some spending money. So for about an hour, he works the market, gets it's, you know, I would love a montage supercut of Lamont in disguise having a famous time trying the hot nuts and going, you know, we're seeing all the different shenanigans he's getting into, and he keeps attempting to make polite conversation with the various shopkeepers, and then as the hour sort of comes to a close, he makes his way toward the fringe of it and starts to head towards the tumble downs.
Okay. Well, roll me our first roll of the evening here. Roll me a persuasion check. I want to see what sort of information you've gathered before you start wandering off.
Yeah, and he's doing this weird shit where he's like, "So, have you read the paper?" You know, and he doesn't mind making an ass of himself.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's possible. It's possible some people might be interested in answering your question. An 11. You find out that most people kind of just like blow it off. They don't want to talk about it. Some people seem obviously disturbed that it was an excessive show of force by someone in the criminal underground, and that the death of children is never a popular topic, and that, you know, the good people are outraged. The people who just try to keep their heads down don't talk about it. It's easy to tell. Everyone is bothered by it, but not enough to really go into any conjecture, because, you know, you rolled an 11 and that's not going to get you a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
And you are being a bit boisterous in this particular persona. But as you go to exit the night market, you do notice something. People are starting to slow down. The sounds that are echoing, the quick music that you heard throughout the night from the musicians that are in different portions of the night market, the music is slowing down. It's like the battery's running out slowly. The echoes are taking longer to bounce off the buildings. And as you notice this, and as you're walking to the more southern side of the island or of the peninsula, everything stops except for you.
The people frozen?
Yep. In mid-step, mid-conversation, mid-bite, everything that they were doing, they stop perfectly. There's no movement, no breathing, no sound.
And if Lamont had breath to hold, he would hold it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to walk over to a person and inspect them.
Okay. What are you inspecting for?
I just want to look closely at them, and I take a bite of whatever snack I'm still holding on to.
Okay. You take a bite of your snack. Let's say it's like a long, deep fried kind of bread roll.
Oh, don't tempt me.
Yeah, it's covered in a powdered sugar. It's quite tasty. You inspect them. This person you're seeing, it's a middle-aged woman who is carrying a couple woven bags of things she's purchased here at the night market. They're mostly vegetables and some other foods, a little carved statuette. She is in mid-step and mid-conversation and has stopped. You can tell that in this particular pose that if she was trying to hold it, she would almost fall over. It is not something you could balance and keep. She, like everyone else around you, is being held. Almost in stasis, or as if time has stopped around you.
Okay. All right.
Roll a perception check.
That's a big 5.
That's a 5. I'm going to give you advantage on this one for 15 because I imagine at this point, with no sound, no movement, it's a little easier to notice when things start changing, and you are hyper aware in this particular moment. And what you notice is that there is a red glow surrounding everyone that is starting to get brighter and brighter. And it seems like it's coming from above you. You look up and you see a sight that you recognize. There is a flying person who looks like they're on fire. The forehead has a large globe. Their wings are burning. The white clothing that they wear is wreathed in the same almost eternal fire that you've seen before. And you know you've met this particular being once before on the bridge of Harlan's ship when they visited to have a conversation with you. And you know that this is Anahita, once servant to Avum, the god that has been chained, and is now fighting to keep her previous master still chained. And you see that they are flying towards you. And then we'll go back to Iman, where Seeker Assume is still interested in Lamont. So you said he had some sort of sickness. Something he's had for a long time? Something new?
So
Maybe?
no.
Ever since I've met him, yes.
Oh, so it's an ongoing thing.
Yes, quite
I
chronic.
don't know if it could be described as sickness or just perhaps It is one of three things, most likely. It's most likely sickness, brain damage, or just personality. I hope it's not the third.
Oh. Well, I have an interesting topic to bring up on the and the thought of Mr. Lamont Quinlan. A little over a year ago, possibly almost 18 months ago,
Yes.
there was a body found in the back alley behind the restaurant known as the Arcanery.
A body behind the.
Yes. Now, that's a spot where Mr. Quinlan had been seen regularly and was seen around that same time. Now, unfortunately, the damage to the body at the time that it was found was too great to be able to really make a positive identification. But from what we could tell and the amount of magics we used, it seemed like this was Mr. Quinlan. Now, none of you were in town or where we could find you, so we figured you had gone your separate ways, and it's so long ago we hadn't thought to bring it up. The body was buried in the Whitestone Slums pauper graveyard, and, well, we didn't think about it, really, until reports of Mr. Quinlan spending time with everyone.
The body you said was hard to recognize.
Yes.
What type of injuries or damage had it
Rats.
sustained? Oh, rats.
It was found in a trash heap behind the restaurant.
Really?
It's a place where he had been seen a number of times before, when he was not associated with your organization.
And
I
you
see.
expect Lamont had something to do with this?
No, I suspected it was Lamont Quinlan.
Was there a stab wound, perhaps, in the chest area?
We couldn't tell anything like that.
At that point, all right.
And when we tried to speak with the deceased, it was not responsive.
Interesting.
It spoke, but it would not answer questions.
That is odd.
It sounds like Lamont.
But
It's
you're
also-
not wrong.
Well, it was also strange. When you speak, when you have the clerics do their speak with dead, it brings out, it's really quite disturbing. The energy infuses the body, it starts to breathe and it exhales and talks, and there's a bit of an aura. Normally it's a greenish aura, a golden aura. It's it depends on the magics used or the god that's worshipped or whatnot. I don't really worry about too much of that sort of thing, but this one was reported to me as very strange. It was almost, the energies were vapor-like, almost like mist, gray and dark, and just an opaque air almost. And it was not what we're used to. So, but that was just, I mean, as you said, Mr. Quinlan was a strange person. And so irregularities were understood to be possible, and we just wrote it off. And I thought nothing of it. I thought nothing of it at the time either, but it was brought to me by some of my associates as an interesting fact that we thought Mr. Quinlan was dead, and yet he is in Port Tamale with you.
So someone may be posing as him.
That is one of the many possibilities.
What's your favorite theory on which
I have
possibility
none.
it could be?
I don't like theories. I like hard, concrete facts.
That's
When you're dealing with information that protects the safety of Tal'Dorei, theories. We had theories about dragons, and you saw how that turned out.
Yes. That was a whole thing.
Yes, very painful thing, and we're reminded of the scars that he's covered in. Half of his
Yes.
face,
Mm-hmm.
is burnt very badly.
Looks at
So
Harlan.
I
maybe we should look into Lamont a bit more when we return to Port Namali.
It's quite an interesting conundrum.
Whomever could be posing as him must know a lot about him.
That's why I was asking, is there anything strange about him?
He's always been strange.
That's the thing, yes. That's what makes it so difficult.
On that point, we head back to Lamont. Lamont, you're now standing in the midst of these statuesque people like statues, frozen in time, as Anahita alights down and stands in front of you. The radiance and heat from her very existence is almost daunting. And she stands and looks at you.
Hey.
You look a little different than the last time.
Last time? Oh, right, on the ship, on the... Oh, my God. Yeah, hold on just... Where am I? Okay, there we go. Hold on just a second. All right. Yeah, I remember. How could I never forget a face. How's it going? What can I do for you?
Has your group decided if they will join me in the fight against Avum?
Yeah, about that one. I'm not sure where everybody's at on that. Avum is the round one, right?
No.
The ball one?
No, that is how his minions communicate with the will that is his. Avum is that which is chained, the Lord of Time. The god that must be chained because no one can wield that power when good and evil fight.
Right. That Avum.
Yes. My once lord.
Can I just ask us a couple of questions for the DM really quick here?
Sure.
All right. So does this encounter and what Lamont knows and can and reading this individual, trying to get as bright and as shining as they are, does this sort of like trigger the whole the feeling that justice, the hammer of justice, must be withdrawn and used swiftly? Does this person come off as legit, or do they come off as...
You remember when you met back with your group that there were two beings that are relatively similar. One group met one being that was there to threaten and cajole. One came and met you and Harlan and said that they were on the other side and they wanted you to help them. You've not seen them since that period of time. You were given time to think because neither one of you could make a decision at the time. And this one talked of another of her kind. Anahita mentioned that there was one called Ukaval that was still working to release their master.
Which I find interesting because Ukaval, they said the opposite things on the ship. Ukaval was like fucked up in Arvin and was like, yeah, I hate that guy. He's the worst. Help me fight against him. And then Anahita was like, join me and serve Avum. So I find it interesting that she's now opposite. Interesting.
Okay. Do I know... I've spoken to Wendell's patron. Do I know... Say again?
Yes, a bit. Yes, you've had a small conversation.
Right? It spoke to me, right?
Yes.
I'm not misremembering that, right?
Set up a call.
Do I know that they're caught up in all that they might be one of these extra dimensional beings that we're talking about right now?
No,
I don't know enough to know.
Wendell's
not-
patron has no association with these beings.
Okay. And does Lamont get which? Remind me which god the Clockwork Council was trying to resurrect.
Avum.
Avum. Right. Okay, back to the show.
Okay.
Yeah, you were supposed to. I know you were. I'm supposed to be thinking about that. You know, it's been a big couple of days. A lot going on. You know, a lot of ins, a lot of outs. I know your time is clearly, valuable, even though you can stop it. Apparently, that's a fun trick. So listen, this Avum guy. Yeah, that's a tough one. You know, because I'm just going to level with you. Obviously, this is just you and me talking. That whole Clockwork Council thing, I've been, I know enough to know when I'm being worked on. You know what I mean? And
No.
it's pretty obvious.
Speak plainly, please.
They're full of shit. And whatever they're after, it's bad news. And we're trying to do the whole enemies closer bit and, get in there and see what they want and maybe feed them something or hide something else from them, try to game them from the inside.
You've had connection with the council other than fighting them.
Oh, yeah, big time. Me and us and the council are like this at this point. I mean, we're not like, hanging out.
Her radiance increases significantly. Her weapon, which is a long chain, begins to glow with crackling blue fire.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is they're really after this whole guy. They really want to wake that whole guy up, and that's a big deal for them. And they sent us after like a book or some baloney.
Be released.
Huh?
And you work for the council?
No, not for. Temporarily with is how I would characterize it.
You see her, and through the radiance, you feel like an inhalation of air.
Yeah, no, I don't
have
work
the
for
stink
anybody, my friend. Fuck that. I don't like
of
groups. I don't like
Ukaval
clubs.
you.
Huh?
You have the stink of Ukaval on you. You're working with the other. My sister, my twin. The fallen.
Your twin. Well, that must be awkward. Okay.
Make a strength saving throw.
What?
Make a strength saving throw.
Saving throw. Oh, good. This is going great.
15. The DC was 20. You are pulled off the ground and fly right into her hand, and she's gripping your neck. You take, hold on, 4 fire damage from the heat coming off of her.
Okay.
You can smell your skin burning.
Okay.
It's painful. I cannot have any more working that know that I am against them. I've worked from the shadows long enough, and if you work with them and they know I am coming, it would ruin everything.
No.
And she grabs your arm.
No, see, that's not going to happen because that's the thing is I'm working them right back. You see, that's why I got in with them, because if they're after it, it's a big goddamn deal, and we're going to sabotage it from the inside. That's the whole deal. I'm your man on the inside. That's my throwing arm, by the way. And so that's kind of the thing is I'm gaming them. You got to start thinking the long game here. I am the terror what strikes in the dark, and I am going to get them by the neck and ruin this plan.
Okay. But she looks at you and starts laughing, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, good. I've got something that like gives me advantage on this shit. I just know it. We got to get into D&D Beyond. I get a whole thing on saves from my. Yeah, here we go. When I make a wisdom saving throw, I can use my reaction and gain advantage on the roll.
Against who? You just anytime you want to.
It's a reaction. It's dual mind. When I make a wisdom saving throw, I can use my reaction to gain advantage on the roll. You can use this trait immediately before or after you roll, but before any of the roll's effects occur.
Okay.
So I get advantage on this because of my dual mind. And look at me, I'm playing some D&D.
Okay.
Full of D&D right now. All right, that was a wisdom. All right, that's good because I have a shitty wisdom, 11.
Okay,
sorry,
well,
14.
advantage would be a 14. The DC was 20 again.
Ah.
You were instantly terrified of this being as waves of malice and hatred radiate with the heat that's coming off of it.
Okay. So
Are you really the thing that terrifies the night?
I don't terrify the night. I am in the night and I terrify. That's how
As long as I stand in the darkness, nothing will be as terrifying as me. And she starts to pull.
Far out. Listen, that's the throwing arm. That's what I'm saying. Look, I'm right there with you. I aspire
Strength
to a certain level of demigodness myself. I was damn close at one point. I really wish you'd just let go of the arm.
She pulls harder. Strength save. Can you pull your arm away? DC 20.
Nope.
You start feeling things tear.
Yeah. He's just screaming. I think he starts just like.
And she rips your arm off.
Yeah.
And holds it in front of you. Now you will be of no use to the council. And she throws you off into the people that are standing there. You knock them all over. You bounce. It's like a bowling ball through pins. You take...
But imagine a bowling ball with a red paintbrush on it, moving through pins.
You take 18 points of damage from the concussion, but it seems like the heat seared the heat from her.
Okay.
She seared most of the blood, so you aren't losing a lot of blood. You didn't take a lot of damage from the arm being ripped off, other than the arm being ripped off.
Okay. This is the right arm, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she looks over at you and she says, "Do not let me see you again." And she just exits up into the sky, and you see like she's a comet that's just receding into the sky as the light begins to dim. And when it disappears, everything starts moving again. And that's when the screaming of the people you hit starts, as you did a bit of damage as you were thrown through people. But we'll get back to you in just a second.
Did she at least leave the arm?
No, she took it with her.
It's so that way she can like cast it in like some metal and then come back and beat him with it if she ever sees him again.
Thank you for that idea. I can't wait to make that happen. All right, so back in Iman. Seeker Assume is sitting there and he's like, well,
Stop hitting yourself.
Quite strange.
the
He does seem
last
to have a talent for making everyone around him hate him for some reason. Very difficult to be friends sometimes.
Yes, well, there were also reports of a few months after this body's burial, there were reports of a dark cloaked figure running the streets helping people.
Yes.
But it was, I mean, we have our vigilantes and adventurers from time to time, and so it's not something we follow up on. And they broke no laws, and they helped a lot of people, quite a lot of people in a short period of time. So
Grave marked. Have you checked to make sure the body's still there?
no, we've kind of just wanted to talk to you about it. That's the whole
Right.
point, bringing it up.
Just was curious.
Because honestly, it doesn't affect the security of Tal'Dorei, really. I just thought I'd be friendly and give you that information.
Much appreciated. This might
Yes.
help answer
Because I thought
some
that might help
questions.
grease the wheels on my last conversation topic.
Wonderful.
Now, you remember we mentioned the opening that Lady Wasserin left on the Council of Tal'Dorei,
yes.
coin mistress.
Mm.
And you've done so much for the city with your orphanages, your soup kitchens, the returning of the money to the council, without asking for really anything in return other than the goodwill of the council itself. And, well, that's put you in the good graces. And we know those who do not wish to rule are sometimes the best to provide that leadership. So have you thought about my offer of the position on the council?
Wendell's like, the look on his face is, that was an offer? Like, like he didn't realize it, and it's now just, like, hitting him. That was an, well, I'm a bit speechless. That doesn't happen terribly often.
Oh, you thought I was kidding the first time?
Yes.
Oh, I don't have a sense of humor.
Noted for the future.
Makes it
yeah,
easier for everyone.
Quite an honor, actually.
Well, since you're only now just really internalizing the offer, I'll give you some more time to think about it.
Of course. I do travel a fair bit to Havisham and other things that impact the position negatively, or
no, don't see. I mean, it's the Council of Tal'Dorei. It's the entire country.
That is fair. Right. Well, thank you. I realized that.
We haven't had anyone from Havisham on the council before. That would be something new. It seems to be quite the hopping place now.
Well, I'm doing my best.
Oh, you and that mayor. He's doing quite a wonderful job. Havisham is quite a destination location now.
Yes, we're doing some work to try to increase tourism to the area now that everything's back up and running.
That's
quite
good.
A charming place.
Plus, your wine is impeccable, and I'm glad to have it back.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, I won't keep you any further. I just wanted to say what I had to say. Yes, Mr. Flipclip?
One question.
Oh, really? Turning the tables on me. Wonderful.
You said you had an influx of Iron Authority.
Yes, goblinoid.
What have they
visitors?
been doing?
Oh, well, I didn't think you were that interested in it. I told you we found out that there was a change in prospective leadership. There was someone in line to lead, and right before they could be coronated or move into the position, they were assassinated by a family member, I believe. But the names are hard to come by.
I'm surprised you were able to learn so much from them.
And we have persuasive conversation techniques.
I've heard. Well, that'll be all. Thank you.
I look forward to reading your dossier.
It would be quite elaborative.
Wonderful. Secret Soup pushes his plate across the table to Igor, who's now eaten most of his food.
He's folding his belly, very happy, and he kind of reaches over and grabs a plate. Thank you.
Yes, it looks. And I'll get back with you on setting up a time to meet with the ambassadors from Singorn, if that's all right with your master.
Of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Wonderful. I'm quite interested to know why they're interested in speaking with.
Likewise.
I'm interested too, I think.
Wonderful. Then we'll all have some interesting conversations around the time.
When will you be reaching out to us about said meeting?
Do not know, but I will forward things through your man, Reagan. He's quite capable.
He is quite capable, and if we have anything to send your way, we will send it to the Reagan as well, most likely.
Excellent. He knows how to contact me through other means. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You as well.
And he walks out, closing the door behind him.
And at this point, Wendell grabs the second plate because he was being polite and only eating one plate.
Master, would you like me to get you more food?
This should be fine for now, Igor. I don't want to get my stomach's all.
You've
Wow.
mentioned-
Barn too, and Igor undoes another button on his vest.
Hal and
Amazing.
Nesrin are never going to believe it.
You've met some very interesting friends, Wendell.
You know,
Right.
I like meeting people.
I'm kind of nervous about meeting these elves. I
You-
mean, what do
Why
elves want?
do you have any idea why they want to speak with you?
Maybe they heard about me in butler school.
It's theoretically possible.
Do you think that he might have the wrong information?
Perhaps.
That's right.
You-
There could be
Igor.
another Igor.
Igor,
What?
when Howl gave you those mushrooms, she didn't say she stole them from, like, some important part of Singorn protected wilderness or
I
anything, did
ate
she?
stolen elf mushrooms.
I'm asking if she told you if she did or not. I don't know why else they would be interested in you.
Well, she probably wouldn't have told me because she probably stole them. It means I ate them.
Good
They're coming to
heavens.
get them back, Master.
You can't
I
give
can't
them.
give them back.
You can't
They're
give them
ready.
back, Igor.
It's all really weird things
We
with
might
those.
have to ask. Okay, I can clear this up hopefully fairly quickly. Hold on. Slams open a book, grabs quill pen. Howl,
Igor's starting to chew his fingernails.
Howl. Those
Oh.
mushrooms you gave Igor that one time,
Have you made contact with her
you
yet?
didn't happen to steal them from any sacred or protected elven territory in Singorn, did you?
There's like an extended pause,
I just eat food.
like just a very long pause, and then you hear a very pissed off Hal say, "I'm gonna fucking kill you. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm busy."
What's she saying, Master?
Don't know if I should respond or not.
Is she dodging us because she
I
knows it's true?
think I'll just wait a couple of hours and then apologize for the intrusion. Hope she's done by then, and then
What's she doing?
explain that elves from Singorn want to speak with you, and I think it's about those mushrooms. We didn't do everything we can. But that'll wait a few hours.
Is something wrong?
I
I
don't.
think so.
Why
she
else would
wouldn't
they
wanna
want to
talk.
speak to Igor?
It's true. And now Hal won't talk to
I was
us
talking
either.
about with Al.
Oh, no, she's probably just busy with her girlfriend.
Like
In a-
shopping.
Biblical sense.
There.
A intimate
Oh!
sense.
Oh my! I see. Yes, that would be such a rude time.
Yes, well, it's hard to know when you just send messages, really. So
True.
we should finish lunch, read this book. Hope
Do we have to watch out for elven assassins?
you didn't go to. Was there any elves in your butler school classes?
I think there was one.
Did you do anything to make them angry? Did you hurt them? Embarrass
it
them? Insult
Flashes
them?
back to like a montage, all the insults, all the things running over toes with like the wheels of the carriage, food getting spilled on them, accidentally burning a hole through their shirt, like all sorts of stuff. Montage.
Nope,
fun.
not a thing. On that, as the montage, the
Must be the
Igor
mushrooms.
montage of elven punishment in Butler School goes by, we cut back over to Lamont. You're in searing pain, laying on the ground. There are people around you also in pain, as it seems that when they're frozen in time and a person of your size gets thrown into them, it's very easy to break bones and injure things. So there's just a mass of hurt people here that just happened suddenly in the blink of an eye in their case. So what do? There are people trying to help that have just jumped in to help their friends and family. You're lying in the middle of that. People are coming to help you as well.
So Lamont would, in this moment, after your Saving Private Ryan ringing ear moment, as he looks around and establishes what's going on around him, would, despite the searing pain, help people. He would help people to their feet. He would, prop their head up on something, or if something needed to be moved, if somebody was pinned under somebody else, he would look for ways to get in here in Captain America this a little bit and help people around him. Then, once that's done, I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm still thinking about that.
You pull yourself up
That's when the adrenaline wears off.
and look to help other people. You have searing pain in your shoulder. You know you've lost your right arm, but you've also heard about a phantom limb pain. You can still feel your arm there, your hand. Your hand is gripping. You go to reach over and there's nothing there to help someone. You instinctively go with your right hand. It's your dominant hand, and you reach forward and you feel yourself leaning, your body language, everything moves out, and you reach forward and you start noticing kind of a shimmer. There is a haze. The air is opaque, and then it starts turning vaporous, and you see an outline of your arm and your hand, and it moves when you tell it to move. And when you reach down to grab and help someone up, you can feel them being touched. You lift them up with this vaporous, opaque arm of yours now, this murky, dark arm that you have in the place of what used to be flesh. And it seems as though nothing has changed.
So he's in a colorful pattern shirt with like a floppy hat, and he's put the dark glasses back on his head, and his right arm's been torn off. Is it bloody? There's like blood.
There is blood around where the injury was made, where the socket was pulled apart.
Yeah. And now there's this vaporous limb that is it's the size of my arm, right? It's the
complete,
same page.
Complete utter replication of the arm that used to be there. Right. Sans clothing.
Right. And I'm standing there, and I want to continue to help until it looks like, and also I want to look towards somebody and mentally tell them to call for help.
They look over to you like people that don't expect to be talked to in their head think that it's like, they look at you and like, already doing it. We have more help coming.
And as I, get everybody, once it looks like there's not anything more I can do to help. Question is, what then? Are they just standing around? Are they looking at me, or are they kind of looking at themselves?
At this point,
am I being blamed for this on some level?
No, because in the perceptions of the people around you, time was not restarted until everyone was on the ground. And in their frame of reference, they were standing, and then there was chaos. So there would be no way to blame you for it, even if they wanted to.
Okay, I want to slink away.
Okay, easily done with your skills. In this chaos, you can find a shadow and head away into an alley, climb atop a building. No one will notice.
Okay, I'm not going to climb on top of a building, and I'm not going to become the night, the terror in the night, or whatever. I think I'm just going to walk down the street. Can I withdraw my limb, or is it permanent?
Oh, it's there. It's your arm now.
Okay. So you can just see that I have a smoky arm the whole time.
Yes.
I want to like buy a jacket off a homeless guy.
Okay.
Because the note, let's just to zoom out a little bit. The notion is still that the terror is wanted,
Mhm.
right, for questioning.
I will remind you of something.
Yes.
You have glamour studded leather. It's
Sure.
a little damaged right now, but
Sure.
the enchantment still works.
And I
So
haven't-
you
Go ahead.
can command your outfit to change.
Oh yeah. Oh right. So I won't buy a jacket off a homeless guy. All right.
Mhm.
All right.
I mean, I won't stop you if you'd like to go ahead and buy a jacket off a homeless guy. I'm more power to you. Go ahead.
I mean, I think he's got like a platinum in his pocket, and he sees a homeless guy. And even though I could manifest a jacket right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, how much for that jacket? And he sees that I have like no arm, except for this smoky thing. I mean, I look like this insane fright. Like a tourist who's been gored and turned into a half ghost.
It's like the guy, he kind of wakes up a bit, because it is late, and he's like, I've seen stranger. What do you want?
I want to buy your jacket.
Why? It's my only jacket. I need it. Cold in the evenings out here. I don't live in a house.
And I, in front of him, making eye contact with him, manifest an identical jacket. And then flip him a platinum. And I'm like, be cool. And I walk down the street.
You see him biting it, like, thanks.
And Lamont's just going to walk back to the manor and think about things.
Okay. You'll get there about morning time after all this has transpired. And since you're just strolling at this point, so it'll be about sunrise at that point.
I want to go back to that spot that I was just standing, where I was just standing there for too long the night before. And I go back to that spot and I just stand there.
Okay. All right.
All morning.
All morning. There you go. That's perfect. Checking in with Howell. Everything going great? Yep. Anything in particular you'd like to do? Questions you have? No?
No. In the morning, they probably wake up and have like breakfast in the gardens kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's just very relaxed, very not giving a fuck about anything else.
Okay. Perfect. That's where you'll be in the morning. And I take it that Wendell and Igor and Harlan are going to study the book.
Yes.
We're going to look at the book.
Yes,
Okay.
we're going to look at the book in the downstairs in the warded room.
Okay. So you take the secret passageway
Yes.
that leads you
We've
down.
had food now. We can science.
Down to the ladder into the repaired and updated secret location and the sewers.
Yes.
With all your work tables and
Mm-hmm.
special lighting and all that fun stuff.
Igor will study the latrine and then join them.
Okay. It is the same latrine you remember fondly.
Perfect.
Very comfortable.
All
So-
right.
How do you
Obviously
go about
very-
studying this book?
Very carefully, with great caution. Wendell's read some might say dangerous books before. You don't just flip it open and start perusing the pages. You examine the cover. You check it for magic. Perhaps you could identify any magics on this book aside from the innate magic within Harlan.
Okay.
We take all the precautions.
All the precautions. And then once we have identified and detected magic and such, we will
And it's not going to explode on us when we open.
Okay.
yes.
Give me Arcana checks.
Can I assist Harlan in his?
Of course.
Yes. Very well.
Harlan, you have advantage on your Arcana check.
22.
22. The book itself radiates a dark energy. And not so much spells that could react to its use, but the fact that it has been part of of many a dark ritual, many a terrible sacrifice has been channeled through this book to create things, to move things, do things that your mind would reel from if you were to know the full extent of them.
I
You
see.
feel that radiating from it.
I think we should perhaps not
Exercise
read.
extreme caution while reading, yes.
Well,
Or
there,
perhaps one of us can read and the other will watch the reader doing so nothing malevolent happens.
there are things within that we might not wish to know. I can tell from the power.
Do you think we should just destroy the book then? Or attempt to do so?
No, I don't believe we should just destroy it.
One moment, I stick my hand in my pants.
What?
And I talk to Galore and the Stone of Galore, and I'm like, Galore, do you know anything about the hold on, I've got the name here.
The retribution of the ancients.
Retribution of the Ancients, yes.
You notice now that you're thinking about it, once you've left the town, Galore has stopped its incessant howling about
Yes.
evil and destroy it and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You get the sense that Galore is not really speaking at this point. It's kind of taken a bit of an emotional
Oh no, yeah.
damage to a certain extent, but you get the feeling that it's not sure what book you're talking about, and it wants you to place the stone near the book so it may judge for itself.
That sounds safer than us reading the book for the moment. Possibly. So, I'll pull a stone out of my pants.
What is that?
It's a strange looking stone. It has an eye on it. Like it looks like an actual living eye on the stone itself. And then you notice it has two other sets for three eyes on the stone. But beyond that, it's just a smooth stone.
My lucky stone.
Well, you might need it. Or we might need it.
Hold it a little bit closer.
You're holding it?
Oh, yeah, I should set it. I'm holding it for now, and then I'll set it down nearer
Okay.
the book.
As you're holding it near the book, you start to get that pins and needle feeling, like your hand is going numb.
Ugh.
Something wrong?
Baby. Don't. Put it back in my pants.
We'll be fine. Just keep your thoughts oriented.
You feel disappointment in the stone when you place it back in your pants, which is a feeling you've had dealing with your pants for so much time.
This is
But-
true. This is quite true. My pants
your
are often
hand-
disappointed.
No longer feels numb.
I'll just mentally ponder why so disappointed.
Just it's an exasperated feel. Like the emotion is disappointment, exasperation, and beyond that, it's hard to tell.
All right. Back in the pants it goes.
Igor, stay here in the room. I
Yes.
may need you to save
Yes.
face.
Igor, stand on the stairwell. That way you're a little bit further back, just in case, and then keep an eye on things.
Igor does his best butlery salute and assumes the standing position.
Excellent. You stand well, sir. What do we do now?
Well, do we both want to read the book together, or one of us is going to read the book and support the other? I can provide some guidance towards reading books of this nature.
Yes, I will read it.
I can read it if you have a better. You can. Don't know what spells you have today.
I have. Well, hold on. Actually,
Mhm.
not only do I have spells, but I also have other things that could help.
Yeah, I'll have a detect magic ritual cast that to have it just floating, you know,
Okay.
while the book's being, in case there's a change, we can detect it.
Okay.
I feel fairly confident about today.
All right.
I will give you some guidance, and I've got. I think I'll have. Yeah, I'll have the detect magic going. I'd rather detect magic than detect thoughts
All right.
at this point.
So you begin the process of reviewing the pages of
Yes,
this
we're
book.
reading the Necronomicon. Yes, we're very
Yes.
smart people.
Yeah.
And while you don't notice the corners of the room going dark as you do, we'll go over to Lamont as the sun rises.
Maybe
It's been hours now. It's well into the day in Iman, but it is just now morning in Damali. It's been several hours since the sun came up, Lamont. You're standing there in your spot. What do you hear breakfast being had, people talking on a patio that you can't see from your vantage point.
Birds chirping.
Birds chirping, the sun is out, your smoky arm is glimmering in the sun.
I would like to think that he's standing still enough that one of these creatures would approach him, or a bird would alight on his shoulder, perhaps, or the top of his head.
Roll me a
for a moment.
D100. Let's see if a bird alights upon your shoulder.
I just think that while we're here, that might be a nice moment.
It's possible. With a 13, yes, a beautiful
because vampires
songbird.
can't do this. This is the moment that vampires can have. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. A beautiful songbird alights on your shoulder, your good shoulder, your left shoulder, and sings a sweet song of morning.
And after it moves on, breakfast is coming from inside.
Well, you smell breakfast foods and you hear conversation quiet on the air from around the building.
At the end of what is that, Captain Phillips with the Tom Hanks there. Got the Tom Hanks, right? He got hijacked by the Somali pirates.
Never saw the movie.
Shocked.
I know the real story though.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And at the end, he's getting on the boat with the Navy SEALs and he's a mess. I would like to think, and also I am reminded of a fugue state kind of a thing. So he needs to look like he's been hit by the worst kind of, he looks like he's been hit by 3 buses at this point,
Yes.
And I think after this long stand in the yard and this long think, he dissolves the jacket and the jacket withdraws.
Okay.
I think he also removes and withdraws and disappears the floppy Gilligan bucket hat that he was wearing.
Okay.
I think he unbuttons and drops the patterned shirt, which I think is something that he had. I think it's like an actual shirt.
Okay.
And I think he unbuttons it and leaves it open. I picture Lamont as kind of a late career Dr. Moreau era Val Kilmer with a gut. He's in his mid-40s. And I picture him as kind of like a guy who was always lean and always kind of good looking but scrappy, who now has gone to seed a little bit and now has had his right arm ripped off. And I want to, leaving this pattern shirt open, just stride right into the breakfast area in the restaurant of the inn. Easy as you please.
I thought the place where you were standing the last time was closer to the Wasser Manor, not the inn.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. So if I'm around, right, I want to be.
So if I still do that,
Okay.
but so if I walked up to the front door and knocked, that's what I do.
Okay.
He just walks up to the front door and politely knocks.
All right. Connor, the doorman, opens the door. Yes. The ladies of the house are dining at the moment.
And Lamont removes his goggles, glasses, whatever. I think they shift and then come off of his face. And remember, his eyes are kind of fucked up. He's got some scarring around his eyes, and he's always been self-conscious about it. And that's the whole deal with the goggles for this long and constantly covering his face.
And you notice that the eyes of the servant kind of look at like they go from your eyes to your arm, then back to your eyes.
Good morning, my good man. You say that the ladies of the house are dining at the moment.
Yes, it is breakfast.
Right. Breakfast. Do you think I'm a colleague of Lady Howell, and I was wondering if she was available to.
Yes, we are aware of your association.
Sure.
Would you like to see if the ladies of the house would be willing to receive you this morning?
I would. Thank you.
If you wouldn't mind waiting in the parlor, I will.
Oh,
go
not
ask.
at all. I'll just step right over here and kind of be right here in this area.
Very good.
Mm.
And you see Connor stiffly walk through the manor towards the back. As you stand in the parlor, which you were in last evening, well-appointed area, marble floors, comfortable chairs, all that. Howell, you're having breakfast with Nezrin when Connor, the doorman, comes over and is like, excuse me, my ladies, I'm sorry to interrupt. Mr. Quinlan has asked if it would be possible for him to speak with you both this morning.
Oh, you mean he didn't just barge in here and do it anyway?
No, I was quite as surprised as you were. He's waiting in the parlor. He was very polite. Seems a bit out of sort. There's something wrong with his arm. It's not really there.
Hal just kind of looks over at Nezrin.
She's giving you an apologetic look.
Fine. Does he want to speak to both of us or just me?
He was not specific.
Enjoy breakfast. I'll have someone come get you if you're needed.
All right, yeah. Don't do anything you'll regret.
No promises. And she'll stand up and like give her a kiss on the forehead and then go to the
And she
park.
grabs your hand as you walk away. She gives it a squeeze and lets it go slowly.
Patience. And Hal will follow Connor to the parlor then, I guess.
And Connor leads you over and you see Lamont Quinlan, bedraggled. Looks like he got thrown through a wall or hit by a bus, if you knew what a bus was in this context. And he's missing his right arm. It is just, there is an arm there, but it's opaque and misty and looks like fog, almost a dark fog that is just coalesced into an arm.
You know, when I told you weren't welcome here last night, that was your cue to go to the inn and go to fucking sleep. Not go get in more trouble.
I remember that. I should have done that. I should have listened to you.
That's shocking.
Good morning. Look, Charles or I'm sorry, I want to get this right. What was the your hand person?
His name's Connor.
Connor's been great. Connor told me we were visiting. Connor told me that you're enjoying a light breakfast on the veranda.
Yeah, it's morning time.
It is. I would love a cup of coffee. Black's fine.
Okay.
Perhaps Charles. I've already.
Connor.
Damn it, so Connor. You're supposed to say it 3 times. Perhaps Connor, who's doing a great job, could arrange for me to join you on the veranda for just a moment, and I could enjoy a cup of coffee and talk to you for just a few minutes.
Can Hal make like an insight check? Because this is extremely unusual behavior for Lamont.
It's because it's not Lamont. Lamont is dead.
Yeah. Like,
What are you looking for in particular?
I don't even know what. Just
Okay, make an insight check, and then I'll let producer Travis give you an insight into what he's thinking and feeling as Lamont Quinlan at the moment,
okay.
depending upon your role.
13.
13. That's a moderate success. 10 would be average, normal people when you can kind of tell when someone's being sarcastic or angry. 15 would be kind of an insight into people beyond that. So what's the surface emotions you're showing right now?
He's not being sarcastic.
Right, no, I
He's
understand
not
that, but just
I think it looks like he has "please do this" on his lips. He's not like in tears, but he's like
he's imploring you, please accept this.
Mhm.
I'm being good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're about to kick our pride off. We're about to take our pride off and put it on the floor and ask if I could join you on the deck for a cup of coffee.
Okay. Hal like lets the silence stretch for a little bit, just kind of, I think, fighting with herself on what she's gonna do, because she really just wants to be like, no, get the fuck out of my house. But eventually she'll kind of sigh and, yeah, come on, let's get you some food and some coffee.
I appreciate that so much. Just some coffee would be great.
You don't want anything to eat?
Not just now. I thank you for the offer, though. After
Right.
you.
See Connor out of the corner of your eye, how he nods and runs towards the kitchens.
She'll lead the way back onto the patio, the deck, or wherever we are.
Nesrin stands up. Good morning, Lamont. You're trying to say something, but it seems
Oh,
like
hey,
you're-
don't get up. Don't get up. And he instinctively holds up his right arm and holds up his hand.
Oh.
And like,
Are you doing all right?
you can see through it. And he's like, don't get up. Please don't get up for me. I'm just going
Kill some.
to, where should I go? Just right over here.
Yeah, let me just grab this chair, and she'll
Okay,
like drag over
that is
another chair at their table.
Really nice. Please don't go to any trouble. Thank you. Oh boy.
So you look to have had an evening there,
Yeah.
Mr. Lamont.
Oh, it's been a night. Yeah, but still, brunch though on the deck. This is lovely. Isn't this lovely out here? And the birds.
Yeah,
so
it's like
beautiful.
my favorite spot in the city.
Well, I can see why. Listen, Nezrin, I want to apologize to you for my behavior last night. I was out of line and is inappropriate and too familiar, and that's not. I should be above that, and I'm just, it's something I'm giving a lot of thought to. I'm working on myself and working on.
Your apologies accepted, but it was unnecessary. I understand the
I've-
stresses that you all are under.
Yeah. Well, hey, but listen, and be that as it may, that's no excuse.
She grabs Hal's hand. Believe me, I understand about angry outbursts. It happens.
So wonderful. I appreciate this so much. I haven't had a brunch in I honestly don't remember. I think maybe since like school, you know. Is this water right here that I'm drinking right here? Is this okay?
Yeah, there's water, and then Connor will bring out some coffee here.
You
in a
say
minute.
that, and Connor is there, and he brings out a
there you go.
small plate of like scones, and then a coffee.
Oh,
Sits in front
look
of
at
you.
this. Oh, let me move this over. Oh, look at this. How charming. Okay, could you just set that? I've made a little place for you. Go ahead, right there.
He does.
I appreciate that so much. Connor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Connor. I'm going to remember you, Connor. Connor, you're doing a great job. We appreciate you
sir.
so much. Okay, that's great.
I will be right outside if anything else is needed.
I'm good, ladies. You know, are you okay? Is there anything I or Connor can get for you?
Well, we're great.
Great. Connor, I think we're good for right now. Thank you so much for your help.
He looks a little like thrown back, taken aback by Lamont's actions, like everyone else at the table, and he just sort of backs away, kind of just like wants to get out of there before something goes horribly wrong.
Lovely. It's just lovely.
Before the other shoe drops.
I don't want to hurt Connor's feelings when I don't eat one of his scones right away, but I am gonna have a sip of this coffee. Hold on just one second. I just want to. And you notice a look go across Lamont's face, like he's gonna sip this coffee like someone who's about to jump out of an airplane, or who's about to like go bungee jumping, you know, like who's doing something terrifying for the first time. And he's just very vulnerable, and his shirt is open, you know, and I'm sure he just looks like absolute hell. And he's got his spectral hand on the handle of the coffee of the mug of this cup. And Frank, when he sips it, does he taste anything? Do I taste anything?
Oh yeah,
I do.
You do?
Like, oh, that is yummy. Oh my goodness. Is that like what? Local? Like roasted
it's
local, or
Marquesian.
is it Marquesian?
Yeah.
How exotic. Let me try. I'm gonna go again. Here we go. Oh, it smells so good too.
Nezarin's favorite.
We imported.
Mhm.
I'm about to corner the market on that particular bean. Hopefully it will do well for us.
That sounds like such interesting work. Importing coffee, you know, something comestible, you know, something tangible, and something from the ground, you know, something natural. You know,
Really,
that just sounds like so much fun.
all that I do is introduce people to people and pay money. That's all it really is. I don't actually ever touch the beans.
come
I
on,
just facilitate.
Maybe so. Well, you're doing great work, and obviously there's people out there who appreciate it. Listen, thank you for accommodating me and letting me join you this morning during your special time. The two of you are so lucky to have each other and to be able to enjoy this beautiful weather and this lovely home here. I think something I really want to tell you, Hal, is I have not been myself for a long time. And I'm sorry for my behavior and for my outbursts and for perhaps assuming too much about our relationship and my ability to have so much bad behavior and so many bad decisions forgiven so often. That was foolish of me, and to put that on you, much less assume that you would put up with it. And that is something that is clear to me. And I hope I'm receiving the full weight of my transgressions and my many trespasses towards you and the group that we're in. I'm in over my head. This whole Port Denali thing, I had a really cool plan. I was going to show up and scare the shit out of everybody, and then grab Vice and Graft and wrongdoing by the neck and throw it into that ocean that I crossed coming over here. And, we'd have one more. I want to help. I want to help people. I really do want to help people. I really do.
As a side point, when he says that, his eyes flash kind of like a bright gray, like a misty gray. It's like an illumination, and the arm actually kind of pulses a little bit as he's like, I want to help people. And it kind of like accentuates the point, and then it just disappears again.
It's like all I've been thinking about lately. I used to think about pretty much primarily sleeping and building things, just anything really.
Things
and
that
then,
shouldn't be made.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I think we can all agree on that. So that's why, and I'm getting older, right? And I think I'm mellowing actually, maybe in my older years. But that's why that's why what's in my mind, what's on my mind, it's distracting. It's distracting me, but it's also like, it kind of feels like what I've always kind of been looking for. So just to give you a little bit of background, I woke up in the ground. I was in a box. I was going to try to get through this. I was in a box in the ground, and it took me a while, but I got out. I got out of the box in the ground, and I got a glass of water, and it didn't really help. And I haven't felt the same, and I haven't slept. And sleeping. It's something that I was enjoying.
Yeah. You'd like to sleep?
I do. I always have been somebody who just enjoys a nice, nap out here on the deck on a beautiful day like this, right? Just having a cat nap in a hammock or something, right? Or just in a chair. I
Right.
haven't done that since since what
You
happened.
woke up in the box.
Since the box thing, right?
Okay.
And also, I can't stop thinking about hurting people who hurt people. I think about it a lot. I think about it a lot lately. It's just kind of just something I've been working on in my head, is how to, stop that.
Okay.
Not stop me thinking about it, but stop it happening for good. So that's, I was going to sip my coffee. Sorry. I'm getting a little heavy at brunch. I'm getting a little heavy at brunch. Sorry.
Nezerin's like, perhaps I should go and take care of the business for this morning. If you'd like to.
Oh, I don't want to run you off.
Oh no,
I'm
no.
so sorry.
I've already had quite a breakfast, and I'm really, I appreciate your apology, and it looks like you and Hal need to continue to talk more, and I think you'd be better if I wasn't here for that. It's fine. Lamont. And she comes over, she places her hand, a calming hand, on your right shoulder. Just lays it down there. It's like,
it takes like a big deep breath.
Everything will be fine, Lamont. You have friends.
Thank you.
And she walks inside.
She's lovely.
Yeah, I know. She's the best.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So that was a lot.
Yeah.
let's start to unpack that. I don't really know where to start, so
I don't know if we have time.
Why wouldn't we?
Um,
I have no plans today.
I've made a god mad.
The gods don't care about us enough to be mad at us.
Oh, this one does. This one does. I met one that I think might, and I'd like to. Sorry. Go ahead. We're unpacking. There's a lot of ins, a lot of outs.
Okay, let's just put a pin in the mad god, and we'll get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Lamont, you are a opinionated, obnoxious, hard-headed, passionate person who, in a roundabout, kind of shady way, gives a shit about people. Okay? I think what you did in Amon with the terror helped. It did. I mean, you helped my daughter. You saved her. And as much as it pisses me off, I'll never be able to fully express or repay that gratitude that I have for that. When you were there for her when I couldn't be. That being said, here in Port Damali, you've caused a lot of problems. The biggest one of which I have a problem with is the fact that through your actions, you got a bunch of kids murdered. That doesn't sit well with me, as you probably remember from me dangling you from the flying carpet. Although at that point we didn't even know that the kids had been, you know what I mean. Sorry, I'm not good with like words or thoughts or anything. For as long as I've known you, you've been mad at me for killing you in a life I don't even remember. This drive that you have now do you feel like that's separate from that? Does it have anything to do with that past life of ours?
No.
Okay.
No. That person is dead.
Okay.
That person died. What I am now, it ain't all me.
Yeah, I kind of figured with the arm.
Yeah, this is a new thing.
Right. Didn't have that last night.
No.
So, okay, so explain to me, do you remember anything before you woke up in that box?
You and I had fought. I knew that was a good place to get some rest. I wasn't feeling well.
In the box? The box was a good place to get some rest?
No, behind the restaurant.
So you mean like a year and several months ago? You woke up in a box. Like, this isn't recent.
I went to sleep behind the restaurant. I was sleeping there for a while. And then it got dark. And I woke up in a box with no heartbeat.
Yeah, I
And
noticed
it took
that you're
a
not,
long
like,
time.
breathing.
No, I'm not breathing.
No.
And I haven't had to eat anything. And this is the first thing I've had to drink in months. This coffee.
Right.
I just don't have to do it. And
I mean, it frees up a lot of time.
it's been interesting. I'm really crushed that I can't sleep.
Yeah.
And it's not like an insomnia thing, like I would if I could, like I know I won't.
Yeah.
I know that that's over me and sleeping.
Okay.
And that's bad. I'm somebody who dreams.
Yeah, you talk about your dreams a lot. Have you tried seeing a healer?
A what?
A healer, like a priest or a cleric who might be able to make you a potion that would help you sleep or put you to sleep. There are like spells for that.
That would be an interesting thing to explore.
We could try that. We could go to the temple, my temple, and
Every time I start to think about that and my options, I think about like, well, what would happen if I went into that temple and then somebody with a weapon grabbed somebody else and I could do something about it. And then I start to think about how I would handle that situation. And then I wake up about 2 hours later. And my mind has just done a lot of work working through a situation whereby I really hurt someone who's trying to hurt someone else.
okay. So
It's been a distraction.
yeah. So it
And
sounds like
I'm afraid I'm going to hurt somebody. And
Well-
I think I did. I think I got those. I think I did something really stupid. And I think I got those kids hurt. And I can't take it back. And now the terror is being blamed for it. And I'm supposed to find some way to flip. I cared a lot about what people thought about me, and as time goes on, it's not as important as
results.
Exactly. That's
So-
the perfect word for it.
So as someone who has done a lot of stupid stuff that has gotten people hurt, you can't change that. You'll have to live with that for the rest of your life, knowing that your reactions caused something terrible to happen. What you can do is find the good stuff. For me, it was my kids. It was Nezrin. And let them be the driving force that makes better decisions. For you, it sounds like you said, with where you went down that rabbit hole of thoughts, it sounds like you don't completely have control over yourself.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
And then I want to telepathically say to Hal, Anahita.
Do I recognize that name?
You know, it was one of the names of the beings that assaulted both of your
Right.
ships on the way to Port Damali.
Yeah. What about them?
When Hal and I were in the ship coming to, or when Harlan and I were in the ship coming to Port Damali, time
Right.
stopped and a being appeared before us, bathed in light, and it confronted us and told us that we had a decision to make, that we were either with her or against her in her battle with Avum. Something about chains, something about not supposed to wake up. This Anahita feels very strongly about this and told us to make up our minds and then disappeared. And obviously that was like a week or so ago?
About a week ago, yeah.
Yeah, about a week ago. Right. So then I'm out having a funnel cake last night, dressed like an asshole, trying to kind of take in the local color and figure things out. And everything stopped. And this Anahita showed back up and was asking me some questions about this Avum. This apparently is the one that the council's trying to wake up and get moving again. And I told him that I was, the master plan here, which of course is that, and he's telepathically saying all of this, which is of course that we're going to work the Clockwork Council from the inside and ruin their little party and keep them from doing anything insane and use it as a power leverage to continue to tighten our vice-like grip on fucking assholes in Port Damali. Anyway,
as he's doing this, his eyes get that gray glow and they start like getting brighter. His arm starts getting brighter. Every time that Lamont gets excited about fighting evil,
Terror stuff. Yeah.
That's when it comes up.
And I tried to explain the master plan, but this didn't give a shit about the master plan. And then all of a sudden he's got a fucking chain and he grabs my arm and he's telling me that I'm either in or I'm out on this whole Avon thing. And I told him that I'm working on it. I'm working them. This whole council thing, I got it.
Yeah, see, that's where this whole plan that we're doing gets me. We're not working anybody, they're working us.
Well, then they ripped my fucking arm off.
Oh.
So that was a clear message that this is bad. And it's another distraction. And I don't need another distraction. And I'm not here to play games with very powerful beings. I was supposed to be one by now. It's my own fault that I'm not operating quite at that level, but I sure as hell wouldn't come dropping out of the sky ripping guys' arms off.
To be fair, I think if you had that power, you might every once in a while.
But it would be the right people. It wouldn't be my ass walking down the street eating a funnel cake when I'm trying to figure out who's murdering the fucking orphans downtown, getting the work done.
The Myriad murdered those orphans. Like there's no figure. We know who did
what?
it. The Myriad.
Well, we know who did it?
Yeah, the Myriad. The people who run this fucking continent.
Well, they're hanging me for it.
Yeah.
And on that, yeah. We're gonna call it there.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Like, duh.
All right. Okay. That went a little longer than I wanted, but that was great because I love that last bit. And this is perfect. We went through a lot of reveals, more than I expected this evening. So that's really good. Let's just go around and see what everybody else thought about this evening. We had a little bit of a discontinuity between everyone in different places, jumping back and forth. So some people have a little bit more to do tonight than others. So let's jump in and let's actually start off with Lamont Quinlan, who had the most happening to him this evening. Hi, Lamont. How's that arm?
It hurts. there was a couple. I got to go back because there was a couple of one-liners. One was from you and one was from Mike, and I'm gonna have to go back and catch them because there was some really funny shit towards the front of this that I just can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, this was a big one. This was a big show, and Frank and I had a meeting before this and agreed that it's just all about fucking with Becky. I mean, I just don't think that. I think that what we're here to do, what we're here to accomplish, if there was a whiteboard here at the Laugh Love Lindy headquarters, fucking with Becky is like, the primary goal.
No, mine just
work.
says kill her characters in every Ravenloft game.
And then fuck with Becky underneath that.
Okay. All right. That's fine too. All right. Well, so yeah, I'm producer Trev. This was amazing. Lamont is having this moment of like naked vulnerability, and then we're gonna build. And we're gonna start. We've broken him down. I don't know, short of grinding him into a powder, I don't know how we can break him down into any more pieces. And so now, guys like Lamont are always rising. So it's time for Lamont. It's time for the terror to rise starting next week. So thank you for this. Thank you, Frank. Thank you for Lindy, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you. So let's check in with the second part of that combo there. Hal, you had an easy start to the session, and then that happened.
Yeah, then that happened. Hi, I'm Nuggetosaurus. I play Howl, the shifter fighter / paladin. You can find me here on Mondays playing Howl. On Tuesdays playing Ambar of Vanasta, the Divine Soul Sorceress, who was decapitated by death. And now we're trying to find our way through.
She got her head back.
She did.
Thanks to a lich.
Thanks to a lich. Yeah. And now we are fighting our way through that lich's castle. And also in our occasional Aliens game, I play Violet, the synthetic human. And I'm very excited to get back to that. Some things are happening. And in a new project coming up here, hopefully in the next couple months, we'll see. My favorite part was just that Anahita coming in and just not giving a single fuck, and I was not expecting her or them to rip off Lamont's arm. That was just, I think all of our faces were like, what the heck just happened? It was great. I loved it. It was so far out of left field. It was fantastic. I had a blast. I'm very excited for next week. I want to find out more about Lamont. I want to find out what the fuck is going on with him. So we'll see.
All right, we will see. Igor, you've got people from Singorn checking in on you.
I know it's scary. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I know how to feel. Igor doesn't. Yeah, I'm Shiny Pilot 26 playing Igor, the Hunchback, and that was a lot going on in that episode, but it was fun. It was fast. It was good. I think I like the part with his arm getting ripped off, like what Howell was saying. It's just like, man, that was brutal, and it was cool. And you got this like cool looking new arm thingy gonna be going on, but then the person took off with your other arm, and you're probably gonna get slapped by it later. And then the ending there was great with the I think I've heard that before in a movie, and if not, that should be in a movie because that was movie-esque. It was picture perfect. So anyways, that was great. I missed this. Thanks guys for watching it. Thank you guys for playing it. So let's do it again next week.
Thanks. Hopefully that's the plan. Speaking of man with a plan and a toupee, Harlan Flipcloak, how was your night?
Oh man, crazy! A lot of action, a lot of intrigue. It was a great episode. Let's see, but my favorite part though, it was when Igor got worried about stolen elf mushrooms. that cracked me up good. So, yeah, I'm D20 Coup de Grace. If I be playing here on Mondays and Tuesdays, and sometimes on Saturdays when we do our alien thing.
Yep. I was a little worried about the old alien, the stolen elven mushroom thing. I'm like, what am I going to do with that?
It's canon now, so
I know.
You know.
Oh man,
I don't know. Hal hasn't confirmed or denied it. She's the one who
I'm-
procured said mushrooms. But
I'm gonna have to think of something about that. There's gonna be an underground elven mushroom ring now that exists
Why
throughout.
else would these people be remotely
Sandria.
I was
interested
gonna
in
say
my
why
butler?
else.
Please. He has to have done something illegal.
All right, before I pass it on to the matron of our channel, I will say that I am deception check, and this was a bit of a corral. I was trying to play some things off of each other, and yes, it was tonight was all about messing with Becky. So you know, and telling more of Lamont's story and getting him in place, and actually ending the first chapter of our Wanderlust in Wildemount story of this return. That's why all of these little storylines were dropped. We've got Wendell and the possible Council of Tal'Dorei edition. There's something there. We've got Harlan and the Goblinoids asking questions. We wonder why. We've got Howl and Lamont and his rebirth and death story to kind of figure out. And then Igor and the Elves of Singorn. What's going on there? So we've got some things out there, some things to look at. So that's a good place. My favorite part was it was probably the elf shrooms because I didn't expect that. I kind of had everything else planned out and was expecting a lot of it. But the elf shrooms was something I had no idea was coming. That was beautiful. So yeah, thanks everyone. This is a lot of fun. Off to you, Lindy.
Thank you. One of my favorite moments was said by chat where two different people, we had Vampire of Accident saying, "We cannot," with cannot being in all caps, "have Wendell on the Tal'Dorei Council." And then Coldrake saying, "Wendell on the council is one of the end of time signs of the apocalypse." So I don't know what sounds so terrible. I mean, what great evils has he done? He's just gotten people jobs, and he's made orphanages and soup kitchens.
It's not what he's done, it's what he's capable of.
It's what he's capable of. And what great good would he be capable of doing as Coinmaster on the Council of Tal'Dorei? You know, I feel like that's the question we should be asking ourselves. If he was able to do that much good, just as that, what greater good could he accomplish? Maybe we'll find out. Also, of course, what other plausible explanation could I come up with for why these elves wanted to talk with Igor? I was like, wait, you did mushrooms. Did Hal steal them? Were they from, like, were they a protected species? Are they from sacred ground? What, do I need to pay reparations to these elves? How did they know? How did they, is there mushroom residue on? He doesn't know how mushrooms work. Wendell's never taken mushrooms or, you know, like drugs. That's not his thing. He doesn't fully know how it works. So he's just assuming the worst about the scenario, because why else would someone be interested in Igor if not to, you know...
That's it. Igor
Terrible.
spiking your food with the mushrooms.
Daren't not, I don't think... Now that's how when bad things happen, right there. And of course, who is Lamont, and who is this, and what have you done with Lamont? Because he was so nice. He remembered somebody's name after like 7 tries, and, you know, yeah, Harlan and I have just been yelling at each other back and forth, like, doppelganger, and all sorts of things. Off with his head! You know, it's fine. I think it's gonna be fine. I can't wait to come back and tell Harlan that he doesn't have a heartbeat, and B, tell Hal that he was buried and dead, found dead, eaten by rats. So that's gonna be fine. You can find us here next Monday for more Wanderlust and Wildemount, and, you know, you can watch Harlan and we'll read a book. It'll be great. And, you know, maybe we'll talk to some Singorn people. I don't know, it'll be fine. And then, of course, tomorrow night, we go back to the castle of Aslan, the great Lich King, you know, Dark Lord of Darkon, you know, casual. Just, they're in his castle, they got their heads back onto their bodies straight. They're not twisted or crooked or anything. I did make them roll that, but they did really good. All their heads are on, got good heads on their shoulders, properly. They're trusting maybe an imp to lead them through the castle. And just met with a great seer who wrote the Hexa. They have been just caught up in this whole time. So that's what we're going to pick up tomorrow, and I'm sure it'll be great. And of course, we will announce when we know Aliens is going to happen next, and also other fun things in the works. So thank you all so much for watching. We appreciate you, and thank you all very much for playing. Till next week, have fun and play games. We'll catch you